Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions of Betcraft. Today is another very beautiful Monday morning. As usual, we always come up with our games, knowing there are so many games going on across the globe, and we're able to select a few of them and look into it before coming up, bringing it forward for you. All right. Yesterday, we had a very, very successful outing. Yesterday, the entire games that we predicted yesterday, were all on point. All of them won. The two tickets were just too clean. That's what you get here. Bangers, bangers every day. All right. That's it. For those of us who played that game yesterday, I wish it. I want to congratulate you. I want to say congratulations, and let's also be hopeful that today, once again, we'll be also having a very great outing. All right. As usual, in a short period, I'll be looking at these matches one after the other. But I want to use the opportunity to ask those of us who are coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe to kindly take our time to hit the subscription button right now so that you don't miss out on our subsequent games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. All right. That being said, without further ado, let's head to the business of today, and it is as usual our games, two tickets each containing three games. All right. Starting with the first ticket, it is in English Premier League. We'll have Fulham who will be up against Brentford. All right. And when you look at the recent games for Fulham, they've already had two wins in the last six matches. They've also had two losses as well as two draws in the last six recent games. And we side Brentford on the other hand as well. I've seen a very similar outing. They've also had two wins, two draws, and two losses in the last six recent matches for their away side Brentford. And when we look at how these two teams are fared from home and away perspective, because we'll see that for the home side, Fulham in the last 10 home matches, they've actually been able to achieve three victories in the last 10 home games. They've also had two draws, but they've lost five matches in the last 10 home encounters. All right, that's not the best result for playing from home. And when you look at Brentford, we side, I've actually seen three victories as well, and two draws, and also five losses in the last 10 away games that they had. These two teams are having a very, very similar, record for both home and away. And also looking closely for the home side, Fulham in the last 10 home games that they had, they've actually scored eight times. They've actually scored in eight out of those 10 home games that they had, and just two out of those they were unable to score against Newcastle and Manchester City. But other games they have actually scored, and have conceded. In nine matches out of the last 10 home matches that they had, they've conceded. All right, some of the games they conceded up to four and three. Also, in the last 10 recent games that they had. And away side, on the other hand, Brentford have been able to score in the last 10 away games. They've scored in the last nine out of the they've scored in nine games out of the last 10 away games that they have so far, and they've also conceded very much nine games out of the last 10 that have played. So there is a probability of them scoring and conceding as well. And in this very encounter, we expect to see goals flying in this one, seeing that both sides can score as well as concede. And the last time they met, they played out the 0-0 draw in May towards season closing. And prior to that, we saw them playing out a 3-0 victory against this very side. Brentford won on that occasion from our way. And also we saw Fulham beating this side 3-2. That's so that was in July last year. But putting all this together, we expect to see a lot of goals in this one, a minimum of three goals appearing in this very encounter, and it is an over 2.5. That's what we expect for that very encounter. Okay, that takes us to the next. It is in Italy, Italian Serie C. We'll have Vicenza who will be up against Lecco. All right, Vicenza in the last six have won three games. Have also had two draws as well as one loss. And the side Lecco have won two, but have also lost four times in the last six games they had. And looking at that from home and away perspective, you can see that Vicenza have actually won, six games in the last 10 home matches, and they've also had four draws as well. And the away side, Lecco, have only managed three draws in the last 10 away games, but they've lost seven games out of the last 10 away games that they had so far. And the last time both teams met, it was last year, January. We saw Lecco beating Vicenza on that occasion from home by 3-0. Prior to that, we saw Vicenza also beating this side by 4-0 from home as well. And in this very one, judging by the recent form of the home side, who actually won their last home match, against Atlanta 2 by 3 goals to 0, and they've actually won 6 games in the last 10 home games. I've not lost a single match in the last 10 home games, so we wouldn't expect them to lose, and we expect to see the Saints are winning in this very one. So home win, that's what for that very game. All right, the next game in the ticket, which happened to be the last for the first ticket, also in Serie C, Italian Serie C, where we have Benevento coming up against Turris. All right, and the home side Benevento in the last 6 have actually won 4 games out of those, and they've had 2 draws as well. And when you look at Turris, on the other hand, they've won 2 games in the last 6 matches. They've also had 2 draws as well as 2 losses in the last 6 different games for our side to lose. And we're looking at Benevento from home and away perspective. You can see that playing from home, Benevento have actually won 8 games in the last 10 home matches. Have lost 1, and they've also had 1 draw. And away side Turris have managed to achieve 3 victories in the last 10 away games, and they've also had 2 losses as well as 5 draws in the last 10 away games that they had so far. And the last time they met on head-to-head basis, you could see that Benevento won on that very occasion by 3 goals to 2. That was in January this year. But prior to that, in September last year, we saw Turris achieving a victory against Benevento from home by 3 goals to 1. But we know that Benevento is doing very well in these very recent, times, and we'll expect to see the home side, comprehensively beaten to our side. Our home win. That's what we expect in that one. All right, that concludes the first ticket for today, and we head into the next ticket, the second ticket for the day, and it will be starting with the Swedish game. We'll have in Swedish First Division, where we'll have Norrop King coming up against AIK. All right, Norrop King in the last 6 have had just a single victory, 3 draws as well as 2 losses, and away side AIK have had 5 victories, but they've also lost 1 match in the last 6 recent matches that they have so far. So when you look at how these 2 teams fared, from home and away perspective, you can see that Norrop King have had 3 wins. They've also had 2 draws, but they've lost 5 games in the last 10 home matches. And away side AIK have won 8 games out of the last 10 away games that they had so far. That they're doing very well at the moment, and they've also have 2 losses in the last 10 away games that they had. As a matter of fact, the last 7 away games, I've seen AIK winning all 7 games. That tells you that this team is on fire at the moment, and they're doing very well. And the last meeting for both sides, from head-to-head perspective, I've seen AIK beating this side by 6 goals to 2. That's a match that produced a lot of goals. And prior to that, in last year, August, we saw Norrop King also beating this very side by 3 goals to 1. All right. And the last 5 meetings for both sides have actually been a meeting that is actually known for producing lots of goals. Each of those 5 meetings have actually produced over 3 goals. But in this very one, we'll resort to over verdict, and we expect to see a minimum of 2 goals appearing in this very encounter. It is an over 1.5. That's a verdict. And the next is also in Sweden, but the Sweden second division Super 10. All right, we'll have Orjait coming up against the Östersund. And in this very encounter, we see that the home side have had 2 victories in the last 6 matches. And they've also had 3 draws as well as 1 loss. And the away side, Östersund, 1 draw, 1 win, as well as 4 losses in the last 6 games that they have so far. And looking at Orjait, the home side, in the last the last 10 home matches, they've also had 6 victories. They had 2 losses as well as 2 draws. But also quite noticeable the fact that most of the matches that they've had have produced lots of goals. 8 games out of the last 10 home matches have seen over 2.5, and actually they've scored 2 goals in 7 games out of the last 10 home matches that they had. And they've scored in all the last 10 home matches that they had. Scoring above 2 on 7 games. Out of the last 10. All right, looking at Östersund, their away side, they've actually won 1 game, they've had 2 draws, but have lost 7 matches in the last 10 away games that they had also. And also their games have actually produced lots of goals, saying that actually 5 games out of the last 10 away games have seen over 2.5. And looking at head-to-head performance, we could see that last time both teams met, Östersund played from home, and it was a 1-1 draw. And prior to that, we also saw them playing it out a 2-2 draw. On that occasion, Orjait played from home. All right, the last 3 meetings for both sides have actually produced lots of goal. Produced over 2.5 on 2 occasions, and the other one being over 1.5. So in this very encounter, it is still a goal verdict that we expect, and we expect to see a minimum of 3 goals appearing in this one. Over 2.5, that's our verdict, and that takes us to the next. Which are going to be the last for the second ticket and also the last for the day. It is in Italian Serie A. We'll have Lazio will be up against Cagliari. Lazio also have had 5 victories in the last 6 matches and also 1 draw and 1 loss rather. And Cagliari, on the other hand, have won 3 games, 1 draw, and as well as 2 losses. All right, when you look at how these two teams fared from home and away perspective, you can see that playing from home, Lazio have actually won 7 games in the last 10 home matches, and the other 3 being a draw. They've not lost any single match in the last 10 home matches, and also they have scored a lot of goals. They've scored over 2 goals in at least in all 2 goals minimum in 8 of their last 10 home matches that they had, and have scored in all the last 10 home matches. The other 2 being just 1 goal they were able to score in the last 10 home matches. That tells you a lot about this very side. And also Cagliari, on the other hand, have won two games, 3 draws, as well as 5 losses in the last 10 away games. And banking on the fact that we saw Lazio doing very well, seeing how they were able to defeat Genoa by 3-0. That was the last home match that they had, and also the head-to-head performances are favoring Lazio, seeing that the last 3 meetings for both sides have always seen Lazio beating Cagliari even from home and away. They were able to beat Cagliari from away on 2 occasions, and also the other one from home. All right, that tells you that Lazio is a very strong side and is actually the better side in this one, judging by form. We expect to see Lazio, the home side, to win out throughout this very game. Home win, that's our verdict, and that brings our predictions for you today on Betcraft to a conclusion. All right, I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope your ticket goes green. Also, remember to play responsibly. These are football games. Sometimes it may not be what it seems. All right, I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope your ticket will do very well today, just like yesterday. Tomorrow is another day, and we'll be coming up on this very channel with our predictions. But until then, keep winning.